strange thing is happening right now. And most people don't even realize they're already falling behind, not because they're lazy, not because they're untalented, but because a new kind of elite is quietly emerging and artificial intelligence is accelerating them at a speed the average person cannot even comprehend. For the first time in history, one person with the right AI tools can outperform entire teams, build companies without employees, create influence without fame, and make decisions faster than institutions designed to control entire industries. And while millions are still using AI for memes, homework, and basic prompts, a small group is learning how to use it like a weapon. The scary part? This divide is growing every single day, because the future may not belong to the smartest people anymore. It may belong to the people who adapt the fastest. Most people still think AI is just another tech trend like crypto, like NFTs, like something overhyped that will eventually calm down. But history has a pattern most people never notice until it's too late. Whenever a civilization creates a tool that massively increases human capability, society splits into two groups almost instantly: the people who adapt early and the people who become dependent on those who did. The printing press created intellectual elites, the Industrial Revolution created financial empires, the internet created digital billionaires, and now AI is creating something even more dangerous: a generation of amplified humans, not smarter humans. Amplified humans, there's a difference, because intelligence alone has never guaranteed power. Execution does. And AI is becoming the greatest execution machine ever created. Right now, somewhere in the world, there are teenagers using AI to build software companies without knowing how to code. There are solo creators producing content faster than entire media teams. There are startup founders replacing departments with automation. And there are ordinary people quietly multiplying their productivity at a level that would look impossible just 5 years ago. The terrifying part isn't that AI can think, it's that AI allows certain humans to move at superhuman speed. And speed changes everything. Think about it. For most of history, success depended on limitations. How many hours you could work, how much information you could memorize, how many employees you could afford, how many experts you could hire. But AI is systematically removing those limits. Today, one person can brainstorm marketing campaigns, generate designs, analyze data, write code, automate workflows, learn new skills, and launch businesses from a laptop in a bedroom. Not perfectly, but fast enough to dominate people who are still operating traditionally. And this is where the real divide begins, because the people winning with AI aren't necessarily geniuses. Many are simply curious earlier than everyone else. That's how technological revolutions always begin. When the internet first appeared, most people ignored it. A few explored it obsessively. Those few built Amazon, Google, PayPal, YouTube, Facebook. Back then, the advantage came from understanding the internet before the rest of the world did. Now the same thing is happening again, except this time the acceleration is much faster. According to a 2023 Goldman Sachs report, AI could impact roughly 300 million full-time jobs globally through automation and productivity shifts. But here's the part headlines rarely explain: AI probably won't simply replace most people overnight. Instead, people using AI will replace people who refuse to use it effectively. That's a completely different kind of disruption. A designer using AI can now generate concepts in minutes instead of days. A programmer with AI assistance can solve problems dramatically faster. A researcher can process information at a scale impossible for humans alone. The gap between enhanced workers and non-enhanced workers is already becoming visible. And once that gap becomes economic, becomes social, then political, then permanent, this is exactly why major tech leaders are racing so aggressively toward AI dominance. OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, and Nvidia aren't spending billions because AI is a fun experiment. They understand something most people still don't. Whoever controls the most powerful intelligence tools may shape the next global hierarchy. And unlike previous revolutions, this one isn't limited to governments or giant corporations anymore. A single individual now has access to capabilities that once required entire institutions. That changes the meaning of power itself. But there's another layer to this nobody talks about enough. AI doesn't just reward skill, it rewards adaptability. Some people freeze when the world changes. Others become addicted to learning faster than the change itself. Those people become unstoppable because in the AI era, the most valuable trait may no longer be expertise alone. It may be the ability to evolve continuously. And honestly, that creates a deeply uncomfortable question. What happens to people who never adapt? History gives a brutal answer. When societies transform technologically, the people who fail to evolve often don't disappear physically, they disappear economically. The industrial age crushed millions of traditional craftsmen. The internet destroyed entire industries. Streaming erased physical media giants that once looked untouchable. Every revolution creates winners and invisible casualties. But AI is disrupting that entire psychological contract. Today, someone with no office, no employees, and no institutional backing can build systems powerful enough to compete with companies that once needed hundreds of workers. Not because humans became smarter overnight, because AI multiplied their capabilities. And the people realizing this earliest are positioning themselves quietly while everyone else argues online about whether AI is good or bad. That debate may become irrelevant. History shows technology rarely waits for society to feel emotionally comfortable before changing everything. Electricity didn't wait, the internet didn't wait, smartphones didn't wait, and AI definitely won't wait. In fact, researchers from McKinsey & Company estimate generative AI could add trillions of dollars annually to the global economy through productivity increases across industries. But productivity is only one side of the story. The deeper transformation is psychological, because AI is beginning to change how humans think about themselves. What happens when machines can write better than average writers, code faster than junior developers, generate art, music, marketing, strategies, and business ideas in seconds? For many people, that creates fear. For others, it creates leverage. And the difference between those two reactions may define who thrives in the next decade. You can already see the split happening online. Some people use AI passively, others are building entire ecosystems around it. And once these people gain momentum, the gap becomes extremely difficult to close. The internet already created a world where a few platforms dominated global attention. AI may create a world where a few highly optimized individuals dominate opportunity itself, not through conspiracy, not through secret societies, but through amplification. An average person with extraordinary tools can become economically dangerous. That sentence alone should make people pause, because for the first time in modern history, intelligence is becoming scalable. One human mind can now operate with the support of systems that never sleep, never stop processing information, and continuously improve. That changes competition forever. But there's also a warning hidden inside all of this. Tools amplify intent. In the hands of a disciplined, curious, creative person becomes a force multiplier. But in the hands of someone distracted, passive, or dependent, it can become intellectual sedation. And that may become the ultimate divide of this century, not rich versus poor, not educated versus uneducated, but augmented versus non-augmented. The people who learn how to think with AI versus the people who slowly allow AI to think for them. That difference sounds small right now. One day, it may define entire classes of society, and maybe years from now, historians will look back at this exact era and realize something shocking. The new elite weren't born into power. They were built during the moment the world changed, while everyone else was too distracted to notice. And honestly, that raises a question most people should probably ask themselves now. When this transformation is complete, which side of that divide do you think you'll be standing on? Because the future is being designed in real time. And the people learning fastest today may become the people impossible to compete with tomorrow. If this video genuinely made you think differently about where the world is heading, don't just scroll away from it. Drop your perspective in the comments. Are we witnessing the greatest empowerment tool in human history, or the beginning of a completely new hierarchy? The smartest discussions usually happen between people who disagree, and this topic may shape all of our futures.